About 4 years ago, I was working for the New Zealand Defence Force and I was traveling around staying in the same barracks as uniform staff. On one particular trip, I happened to be on my period. So I go into the bathroom, I change my tampon, and I look to dispose of it. But there was no sanitary bin around. After a brief second of panic, I wrap it up in lots of toilet paper, I try to hide it in my sleeve, and I go looking for a place to throw it out. That really got me thinking that if me, as a civilian, was having a difficult time getting rid of my tampon while staying in New Zealand, what were people in uniform doing? How do women in the New Zealand Army manage their period when they're in the field or on a deployment? And what, if any, is the role of the organization when it comes to menstruation? That really was the spark that led me to my doctoral research. As I started my research, I noticed that within a military context, menstruation was often framed as an inconvenience and a problem to be solved. It really focused on menstrual suppression, basically seeing how we can eliminate the subject matter completely. If there's no blood, then there's nothing to do to manage it. I was interested in taking a different approach, and I tried to understand more about women's desire for menstrual suppression or menstrual concealment and control over how they manage their menstruation. Through interviews with 18 women of varying ages, trades, and ranks, it really showed that the accessibility of contraception for menstrual suppression had empowered them to do their job and allowed them to be in the field or on a deployment, already stressful and demanding environments, without needing to worry about managing their period. However, most participants also described menstrual suppression as being a tool to avoid attracting any additional attention. They felt like they still needed to prove that women had a place in the organization. Therefore, participants emphasized that the individual role to ensure their menstruation was concealed, while also policing others to ensure everyone else was playing their part to keep menstruation, or more broadly, their womanhood, concealed. This made me wonder, if the culture was different, would their choice to suppress be different? Is suppressing menstruation empowering and liberating if it's only done in response to a culture that doesn't allow for another type of menstrual empowerment? My doctoral research uses menstruation as a lens and an opportunity to reflect on a culture and a system as a whole. By exploring and listening to women's experiences of menstruation, I've come to question and reflect on the military culture and system and its responsibility of care. Rather than looking at menstruation as a singular aspect of health, I took a step back and reflected on if the entire system that has been created was really meeting everyone's current needs. And if it wasn't, how could it change for the better? Thank you.